What's up, everybody? Wanted to make a another video of this LS I picked up. The first one you seen, it was kind of dirty, not running. I showed you, it cranking over. Kind of sounded funky when it was cranking over, almost like it had no pressure. It was just like, like it wasn't really cranking. But it's been about a week now. A guy I worked with had one of these, and he replaced his coil packs, just doing a tune-up. There was nothing really wrong with them. And he's like, hey, I think I still got them in the garage if you want them. I said, heck yeah. So I just wanted to, see if the car would run. If you haven't followed, if you don't know the backstory with the car, go ahead and watch the other video first. I picked this thing up, $400. They said it needs a motor, wouldn't run. Last time they drove it, they said it just lost all power. It wouldn't go with any gas. It struggled to back up their driveway, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I've had the car for about a week now. I scrubbed it outside, washed it really good. But unfortunately, of course, it hadn't rained in like 2 weeks. That night or the next night, it rained. So everything got kind of dirty again. Spider webs popped up and stuff like that. The interior is kind of dirty still. I'll click the lights on here. You see stuff like that. Like that stain there. Some stuff like the speaker grills, and overall it's clean though. This is just stuff that needs to be wiped down, basically. Like inside the shifter, and the only damage really is this right here. It's just from the sunroof. And then those right there, these buttons, these things always break off. Every LS I've ever been in, probably 10 plus, have had these buttons broken off because these little plastic things they screw onto are so weak and brittle. So I'll just glue those back in. But they do work, so that's good. I'm not sure if I had the radio in the last video, but when I bought it, all of this whole center console was sitting on here. Even this thing was all taken apart. I don't know why, but snapped everything back together, screwed it down. They had all the screws still, thank God, and everything works. It's even still got the little cigarette lighter. The only thing that doesn't work is this drawer right here. I just need to snap it back in place, but right now it doesn't actually pop out on its own. It just kind of goes in, so I gotta kind of just leave it there. I don't smoke. It's just kind of like a ashtray type deal anyways, so I'm not really worried about it. But anyway, so I got the thing running. It was running rough. The whole car was shaking. It was like, you could your arm would move if you were grabbing anything. So it was making this rattling sound underneath. And right when the guy was talking to me, it sounded like clogged cats. These things were absolutely clogged up. The car had no power, but it ran. So he just apparently is the type oh, it's broke, throw it away, buy a new one. Because they had already bought a brand new car, or actually a couple brand new cars in the garage, and had just parked this thing. Didn't even really do much to try to diagnose it, in my opinion. From what they said, at least. He even had both factory keys, and they're brand new still. Really good condition. The owner's manual with all the booklets is in there. I know the lighting is terrible right now, but this thing's fully loaded, basically, except for navigation. It's got heated and cooled seats, the power adjustable pedals, memory seats. It's got the 12 speaker sound system. It's got 2 there. It's not really 12 speakers. They count the one in the doors as 2 because it's got a mid-range and a tweeter, so technically it's 2. So 2 in each door. And then in the back, it's weird. They call them subwoofers. They're just 6-med-ins, but they're amped, and they got this little enclosure, but they're just woofers, though. They're not full-range drivers, so that's kind of interesting. It's got the V8. It's a little 3.9 liter. Automatic wipers. Heated wipers, I believe. Hopefully they still got those. I know in the earlier models they did. Sunroof, and it works perfectly. Trying to think what else. I'm not sure options wise, what the different packages in these were. But everything is in fantastic shape. It's just, it's dirty from normal wear and tear, just dirt on the ground and smudges on the doors and stuff like that. But that's just all a good detailing, you know, it'll get rid of all that. Engine bay was pretty clean. It was kind of dirty and greasy, but oh, that was the other issue. The power steering, he said, leaking. It's got a new rack and pinion, but he doesn't know why it's leaking, so I'm assuming there's a hose or a fitting that's worn out or broken or something. And then another issue was that the heat and air did not blow. Like, you could hear it turn on, and they put a new blower motor in there. You could hear it turn on, and like, you know, you could hear the fan spinning, but barely anything would come out of the vents. But when I would adjust it, you know, like vents to floor to defrost, I could feel that little bit of air turn into no air. So I'm like, okay, there's, you know, the actuator doors are working. So I'm like, what the hell is the issue? They had the damn thing, that's why I got this mess down here. You see that wire hanging down right there? That's the, like, the main power connector for the blower motor. They had it plugged in backwards. So I unplugged it, flipped it around, literally 10 seconds. Turn it on, it blows great. It's quieter now. This air blows ice cold. So this thing has been a score so far. I mean, the wipers even said it was sitting for like a year. These wipers work like brand new wipers. So all the, like the tilt and telescope wheel, that works, which is sweet. I love when they come out because I can sit farther back because I hate sitting up close. The power pedals work. The heated and cooled seats work. They don't work really strong. Maybe it's just the car, but like maybe that's how they were. But like I've been in some cars, like you turn the heat on, and then like 30 seconds later you're on fire. Like these take, you know, a minute or two, and then they start to get warm. But the cooled seats seem to work too. Let's see. Right now, so what I've done so far, I threw those coils on. They didn't really fit. I pulled one of the plugs. They got Bosch plugs in the motor. And Bosch and Ford Bosch plugs do not work. They suck. 9 times out of 10, they cause issues. Issues that were never there and that are caused by a stupid-ass spark plug. I'm on one of the Explorer websites, the Explorer forum, because my other car is a 06 Explorer. And that's one of like the biggest arguments on there. People are like, yeah, I put new plugs in, I put new wires, you know, now my car's running like shit. And they're like, well, what kind of plugs? Oh, I threw these Bosch ones in. Nope. Take them out, put some Motorcraft or Autolite, even NGK. Perfectly fine, all issues solved. So, my first thing I'm going to do is switch those out with, I think this car took NGK from the factory, so I'm going to throw those in there. New coil, coil on plugs. They're not coil packs, it's just coils. New coils. Because these ones that I got from my buddy, they barely fit. Like, the boot, like the little thing that makes contact on the spark plug is too big, and it just kind of sits on there. So they don't really, like, it's kind of running shitty right now because I think it's only running on like 6 or 7 cylinders, because some of those I got like being pressed down by like some weight, because I got to buy the bolts also. They didn't have the bolts for them. But yeah, I did that. The car fired right up. Like, it hadn't even been sitting. I was amazed. But it was running like shit, you know, it was barely idling. Giving it gas would do nothing. Like, the RPMs would not change. And then when you got under the car, you could hear like this, it sounded like marbles in a can. I'm like, oh, that sounds terrible. I looked online, sure enough, I watched some videos, sounded identical to other clogged cats I've seen in other YouTube videos. So I cut the third one off. It's got one here, and then they come down into like a, kind of like a resonator, but they call it a cat. I cut that one off just to see. I was like, you know, let me cut that one off, see if that one's clogged. It definitely helped. Once I did that, I could rev it and the RPMs would move a little bit. And it wasn't running like shaking aggressively, like barely trying to stay running. So then I got the passenger side cat unbolted. So that one's completely gone. It just dumps right at the header, or whatever the hell you want to call them. And then the passenger side, I got one bolt undone, but I got to buy a swivel adapter to get the other side. But I got it like, it came loose enough with that one bolt being gone to like swing it out of the way, kind of. So, you know, it's just basically an open pipe. The pipe is like 75% clear, so that's plenty enough for it to run, right? You think? So, let me turn the lights off. And the easy entry and all this stuff still works too. Like, you put the keys in, well, it's not going to do much now, but window down. See, I got low fuel. It's got 186,000 miles. Nope. I don't want to keep it running too long. It's late at night, but yeah, I haven't run it in like 3 or 4 days now, so they're starting it earlier. I'm still not used to how long this thing might crank over. And obviously, as you hear, it's running like shit. There's no O2 sensors. I know at least one of those coils isn't making contact, so it's not even running all 8 cylinders. But it fires right up, basically. And you could hear it. I was giving a little bit of gas. This thing is throttle by wire, so when you're in park or neutral, you don't get much throttle response. But as soon as you put it in drive, it'll go. So, of course, obviously, I got the check engine light on. You know, no O2 sensors. It's running too lean, too rich, all that stuff. But that's where I'm at. The thing runs. I put it in gear. I drove it forward. I drove it in reverse. It's, you know, goes into gear great. There's no weird feelings or nothing. The electric e-brake even still works. And a lot of people say that these things fail quick as hell. This thing still works. The radio works. I'm not going to play it though, because then they'll mute the audio and talk about copyright and all that shit. Adjustable pedals work. The headlights, it's got factory HIDs and they both work. That's crazy to me. They must, I'm wondering if they were replaced at one time or another, because a set of HIDs working for 13 years now. That just blows my mind. I mean, I know I can't compare factory to aftermarket. Aftermarket doesn't last for shit, but I just feel like one of them would have probably blown out by now. But, you know, automatic lights. The digital mirror, the compass automatically dims. The sunroof works. Automatic. It doesn't seem to leak. Because I washed the car the one day and then it rained and everything was dry on the inside. Got the dimming. All this shit, man. $400. I'm just blown away. The air works great now. Turn it on, vent. I'm sure you can hear it. Really, the only issue I gotta fix now, I mean, it runs, you know, I gotta get coils and spark plugs and basically just have something fabbed up for the exhaust. I'm not sure if I'm not going OEM, because OEM cats, it's like $500+ each, from what I read, if not a little bit less, but still freaking absurd. I'm not paying that much. I'll probably throw in a pair of like aftermarket high flow cats, you know, does the same thing. It's gonna flow a little bit better. Anything is gonna be better than what it had. You know, I need to quiet this thing down. I would get pulled over left and right if I was driving this thing like that. So when I do get it done, I'm gonna have to drive it to the exhaust shop, which is across town. And hopefully I don't get pulled over. That'll be fun. But I'm going to have some high flow cats welded in. I'm going to put the O2 sensors in those. Hopefully the engine will accept that and it won't throw a check engine light. If so, I'll probably just get a tuner and have a tune written to basically disable the O2 sensors, you know, however the hell it works. Because a lot of people do gut these cats or completely remove them and run without O2 sensors. But I want to try to keep it, you know, I don't want check engine lights and stuff like that. It bugs me. I hate it. So, yeah. That's where I'm at. I got to order a new taillight too, because when I was backing in my garage, I backed up too far, hit the corner of my damn workbench, and popped the big ass hole right in the glass on the red lens. So, I got to buy one taillight. But right now I'm only $450 into this car, so $400 to buy it, $50 to have it towed home, right to my driveway, right here in front of my garage actually. And yeah, it runs. Fire it up one more time for you. I'll show you probably start quicker now too. CD changer doesn't work too. That's what I forgot. Oops. There we go. You hit CD, it just buzzes and says CD error. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this thing. So stay tuned. I'm gonna post a lot of updates because at first I was planning on flipping the car, get it running, and easily double my money, if not even more than that. But I really love these things. I've loved them since they came out, even though they are quite problematic and expensive. But I love everything about this car. There's nothing I would change. I mean, I'm gonna do some exhaust work, maybe some small engine work, you know, a nice intake, you know, clean it up a bit. Nothing crazy. And drive this thing to work. Man, I love this thing. It's fully loaded. Keep it as a second car so I can start lifting my Explorer and whatnot. But yeah, definitely thanks for watching. Subscribe and like and comment and all that good stuff. I appreciate it all. I try to respond. I don't always get to. Sometimes I don't even get notified, which is annoying because I'll see I had comments from months ago or a year ago I never even saw. But yeah, thank you.